Hey everybody, it's me Edward Jones back with a new video. It's an open carry report for April 16th, 2025. It's been a while. Uh, it's been a while. I've been very busy. Finally moved into the house. Being a home being a homeowner is something else. I thought all the repairs I was doing as just a guy who rented was one thing. Now as a homeowner, um, it's magnified a bit more. Um, I tend not to like to contact my landlord or the rental properties management. I kind of like to just do it myself. But now it's everything basically I have to do. Um, and so far there's no shortage. Not that the place isn't a wreck. Um, it's just old. The place was made in 1960. I got to replace all the outlets. The only one I did one that was for the refrigerator. I got to put three-prong outlets throughout the entire house. Um, so that's like one of the things. One of the things I gotta do. My wife wants me to put up. She wants me to put up curtains. Put up the hooks for curtains. All the while, I've been keeping up with going on. With things have been going on in the news and carrying as always. If you guys are new to the channel, I just do these videos once a month where I talk about my experience with carrying openly in South Carolina. Typically, I'm carrying a 1911. Every now and then, like on Sundays, I'll carry a Browning High Power. Sometimes I'll carry a PSA Dagger. It could be a rare occurrence that I'll carry a 357 Magnum revolver. But typically, it's my 1911. I like carrying that gun. It's my favorite in my collection. Um, the High Power is an excellent pistol. I guess that's I always said there are really only two 9mm pistols I like to own, even though I do own a Dagger. It's the High Power and a Polish Radom. That Radom is a very nice pistol. Um, so if I'm halfway there, I got the Browning. But yeah, just talk about my experience of carrying openly. Uh, See, one story I got, I was and this will tie into a little bit, something I'll cover later in the video. I was shopping around Home Depot. I think I was picking up some. I was looking for outlets actually, and one of the employees there, he said, he said, I know an I think he said something to the effect of, I know a 911 when I see one. It looks pretty cool. And I said, oh, he meant the 1911. I've heard some people say, they call the pistol a 911. I saw this very funny poster over a decade ago, back when demotivational posters were a thing. It was 1911 dial one and then the number. So it plays very well with carrying that pistol. And I said I appreciate it. I went to Home Depot again, or I was there maybe a week before that time, and I was being helped by a guy who he he was actually from Maryland, and he was once a federal agent. And he didn't say anything about the pistol I was carrying. But we mentioned he was a federal agent. I did ask him, though, was it a culture shock, coming to South Carolina? And he said no. I remember correctly. He said he didn't really see too many guys carrying. He knew that was something that is done down here. Um, so I was like, as long as people, it's basically as long as people being responsible with it, it's not a big deal. He said he doesn't see the need to carry a pistol. He said he hadn't carried on the job in years. So I guess it's not. I would like for more people to do it, but typically it's not for everybody. You gotta have someone have your head in the game if you're gonna be carrying, especially open carrying. And the reason why I mentioned I brought up it was interesting. I brought up Home Depot. So I live close to a Lowe's. I stopped going to Lowe's because the one I used to go to, they put up a sign that said no. I think it was like no carrying of firearms on the property. And I was going there to get something. I saw that sign. I said, oh, I guess I gotta go somewhere else. And so and I guess I'm very close, but I've been choosing to go across town to. I've always had good experience with Ace Hardware. The guys at Ace Hardware have always been very friendly. Um, I go to Home Depot. They don't have a no firearms policy. But my wife looked it up. She looked up, I guess what is the kind of like the policy of Lowe's overall, and they said They allow people. They're fine with people carrying concealed, but they only let people who are law enforcement carrying openly. So maybe the one that's close to me, maybe they change their policy in that sense. I might go back. Who knows? Usually that will leave a bad taste in my mouth. And I typically am. I'm not as comfortable as I would be if being in places where I can't carry. Uh, if I was carrying. So I remember we ate at this restaurant. Her relatives came over to help us move, and the restaurant they didn't want any, they don't allow anyone carrying handguns there. So I left mine in the car, and I just noticed that I'm more alert. I don't know if I can say I'm more on edge. I'm just more just looking around. I'm scoping things out a lot more, see how far I am from the car. Because I get in my mind, I think about I always think about these kind of things, if especially when I'm with my wife. Because one thing if I'm by myself, I can kind of I can treat the situation a little bit differently. But my wife, she's still currently pregnant, and she didn't process it until we left. She saw the sign on the door. Said, "Oh, I didn't know it was that kind of restaurant." I said, "Don't worry." I said, "It's okay," because she knows that when we're together, she doesn't like to go to places where I can't carry. We really burned this up was we were going to Slim Chickens, and we thought it was more of a regional thing. We thought it was more of like a local kind of the person who franchised that store. That's their policy. But we went to another one and they had the same sign on the door, and she just said we just turned around and we went elsewhere. Um, so and even here, recently we had a shooting at the mall in Blythewood. I didn't even know there. I didn't know it was I didn't know it was a mall in Blythewood. I remember years ago before that there was a shooting at Columbiana Mall, but there was a shooting at the mall in Blythewood, and I remember Sheriff Lott, he was showing the footage, and it showed a woman who was walking with a stroller, and it was like in a shoe store, like maybe it was a Foot Locker or a Champ Sports, I don't know, but the shootout started right there. It was like just spontaneous, just happened, and I don't think she got hit, but she fell over and tipped the stroller over while she was over, and all while I'm thinking, it's like it's like it has to be hell on earth to be caught in the middle of that, especially if you have a baby with you. Because not only you worry about your own life, you worry about the life of a child who could be caught in the crossfire. And I know a lot of the malls here are gun-free zones, so I don't know. I just for a good long time I try avoiding places where I can't carry. Usually places I do carry, I will carry openly, and I've had a good reception. No, at least it's been neutral. So I remember I was talking about it on Reddit. I like to advocate for open carry on Reddit, and someone was saying no, they're definitely talking about you. I'm like, well, they ain't saying anything to my face, so what do I got to worry about? Because everybody's got an opinion about the kind of people who do carry openly. But like I said, I do it because I wanted to show people that there's a good reason why you should be doing it, and how else are people going to learn unless they actually see someone doing it, But so far the experience has been, it's been over a year. We've been constitutional carry for just over a year, and it's been working out well for me. I still encourage maybe people out there to give it a shot if you're curious about about participating in open carrying. All I can say is just get a good holster. Get a holster that you're comfortable with. I recommend level 2 or level 3 retention. Again, I heard about level 4. I think level 4 is excessive. I think even level 3 is a bit too much. But I think a good level 2 holster is sufficient. But that's up to you. And somewhat dress accordingly. Make sure that you're dressed in a way where you can actually support the firearm if it's hanging off your side, especially out in the open, and just have fun and be cool. Really, just be cool. Be cool with it. Will people look at you? Probably. I guess there's a whole thing about reading the room, but really, I think most people don't even really notice. They're either on their phone or distracted by something else, and they don't even have time to really see it. And a lot of times, like when I carry, my arm is typically in the way of my handgun. Um, and I carry a full size 1911, so it's even though it's out there, not many people actually really pay attention to it. But when someone does, they'll take notice, and if they feel the need to talk to you about it. Don't panic, don't freak out. Just humor them, have a good conversation. Share why you're doing it, and keep it moving. Um, Again, it's been a positive experience for me, and like I said, I encourage other people to do it, which is why I do these videos. So please tell me what you think. Have you had the same attitude where whether you're carrying openly or concealed, do you avoid most places where you cannot carry? Again, many places they have those signs up, and we know it's not a guarantee that it's going to keep you safe. Um, but tell me what you think. Please leave a comment in the comment section, like, share, and subscribe. If you're interested, if these videos pique your interest, look forward to new videos, and check out my older videos. Any gripes, complaints, send me a PM. I'll see if we can address them. I hope to have some more videos for you guys soon. I'm still like I said, fixing things around the house, and it's still getting certain things moving and reorganized. It's cool having a shed where I can actually have most of my tools. I have to stage everything in a certain way so that so I can actually maybe work inside the shed instead of it just being storage. That's my video. I'm Edward Jones, and it's me doing another open carry report for April 16th, 2025. You guys take care, be safe, stay strapped, and God bless.